Hello everyone and welcome back to Formula 1 2017 Career Mode. Today we have the most prestigious Formula 1 event of the season, and that would be the Monaco Grand Prix. So it's going to be a very exciting race. I hope it normally we get a safety car, but you never know. We might go green the whole way, but that's probably unlikely. As you see, we got a few parts we have to change out here. The control electronics, I'm going to have to change that. And our gearbox is slowly wearing as well. It's now at 50%, but I feel like it will be able to make it to the end of this race, and or through the whole weekend. And then we will be able to switch that out after the race. But now we come to our qualifying lap. Right off the bat, we get into the left side wall. But we're trying to get as fast a lap as we can. The goal is to qualify in the 9th position or better. Now we come to the end of the lap, and we are going to manage to put that car in 9th. But the question is, will we actually stay there as I get the wall out of turn 1? And that's going to do it for the lap. And as you can see, we did not get the top 9. We got 10th. But that's really, to be honest, better than I actually expected to qualify. So I will take that, and hopefully we can increase our performance into the race.
And as the drivers start thinking about getting a good start and how on earth to get through Saint-Devote in one piece, I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, if we might be seeing a safety car or two today.
Well, you wouldn't exactly bet against it, would you? Statistically, it is pretty common, of course. About 80% of all Monaco Grand Prix will have at least one safety car. And that's despite the incredible work of the marshals around here, who you'll often see lifting cars out of the way just under the yellow flag conditions. The teams will always plan for the worst case scenario though, and they'll be making sure various caution periods are built into their strategy models for the race.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Ocon, Kvyat, Perez and a Williams, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Romain Grosjean and Sainz, Alonso, Stroll, Stoffel Van Dorn and Jolyon Palmer. Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright, there is your starting grid for the Monaco Grand Prix. Anything can happen in this race, so I mean, even who's on the pole might not end up the victor in this one. So, without further ado, let's get the Monaco Grand Prix going here. Alright, 5 red lights are out and we are green. Right off the bat we have a big run, but I'm not going to risk it too much going into turn 1. I'm just going to lay back and let this happen, as we already have winglets flying everywhere. But we managed to get through turn 1 unscathed. We did lose one spot, but I would rather lose one spot than acquiring damage. I believe some of the leaders did get some damage from contact on the start there. We'll have to see if they come to pit road this time by, as we are going to shove Kvyat out of the groove and clear him. And now we shove it up the inside of Hülkenberg. A lot of contact there. I do not like making passes into there, but I did anyways. And we're going to let him go and go back up the inside. We thought about it, but he was able to hang on. Now we go through the tunnel there. And we are really lucky that we did not acquire damage when we went to pass him on that left corner there. Now we go through the little inner loop, got through there, not as good as Hülkenberg. We're just really, my mentality in this race is just to run my own race and just try to stay out of trouble and see where we end up in the end. Obviously we're not going to have a shot at the win, but as we come now to the end of lap 1, you see the leaders are indeed pitting. And that includes a Mercedes and a Force India, as Max Verstappen has acquired the lead as we come on to the second lap in this race now. I mean, I'm just trying to survive this race, and I mean, I'm looking forward to the next handful of races, as Canada, which would be my home race, And then we got Baku and Austria. I think those are really good opportunities to get a lot of resource points and also get really good finishes, maybe even contend for a few podiums. I think we could possibly do in those races. But then once we get to Silverstone, I feel like I'll be okay there. In Hungary, I mean, if Hungary is the same as my past performance there, it's just going to be a disaster. So we'll have to hope for the best later on in the season. It's going to be probably a pretty good struggle then. But now we are just trying to run down Oken, as we gained obviously a few free spots due to the leaders, a few of the leaders having to come into pit road. Hamilton has not had a very good start to the season, and obviously his Monaco Grand Prix has not started off any better at all. He's now behind us, trying to work his way back up from that damage.
Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled.
There it is, DRS is enabled as Oken pulls away from us, unfortunately, and Grosjean has really run me down here. Now obviously this track is pretty easy to hold people off. If in most areas of the track you can just kind of stay in front of them and not really worry about getting past. A little loose out of that corner, but we were managed to hang on to it. I'm certainly concerned about Grosjean here. He does seem to have quite a bit of speed, and I mean, just one little wrong move and he's going to be able to pounce on me here and pass me. A little contact with the left side wall. I mean, you're going to see that quite often in this race. I'm going to be hitting the wall quite often. Obviously not my best track. I have got a few wins here in career mode back in the previous game, but I never did a series on it. As we come now to lap 6, we have run down Esteban Ocon the best we could. I mean, we're close enough now to where we might be within DRS range coming to the front straightaway. And Grosjean, we've actually pulled away from him. So it really seems like I have good mid-run speed on these tires, but not good short-run or long-run speed. But you can see that we got a car blowing up, and that is Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso. That's very unfortunate for him. That did not bring out any virtual safety car or physical safety car. But now we come to lap 14, and we will be pitting this lap here for the super soft tires, and we need to hope for a really solid pit stop, and we do not have anyone coming in with us right here, so Ocon and basically everyone else is going to stay out for maybe a couple extra laps until they make their pit stop. But we did have a pretty solid pit stop, as you can see there. Where will we cycle out? It looks like we're going to be in 19th out of 19, and obviously we have to make this set of tires go right to the end of this race. So we have 19 cars running. Carlos Sainz is the only guy out, and that was obviously about 10 laps ago when he DNF'd from a engine failure. That's really the only eventful thing that's happened in this race so far. So obviously we're going to have to wait and see if something big goes down. I mean, you kind of expect it in the Monaco Grand Prix. It's just any moment now, hopefully something happens. I mean, hopefully if there is drama, it's ahead of us. So we can gain even more positions. We should cycle out probably somewhere between 6th to 9th. That would be my guess once everyone makes their pit stops, which should be coming pretty shortly here. You can see now cars on the map ducking to pit road. Now, I really like running on a harder tire compound in this game. I actually seem to be able to run better laps on a harder compound, but I don't risk it in qualifying. I obviously go on the fastest compound that there is. And obviously next season we will have the option to go on even softer tire than the Ultra Soft. It'll be the pink tire. I don't know if the name has been announced. I know they had a vote between 3 options to choose for a name for it, and I personally liked Hyper Soft, and I would love to see it named that, but I'm not sure if the name has been announced. I actually just got done searching for it on Google and I did not see it, so maybe they're still tallying up everything. But now we come to a little bit later on, and Hulkenberg has had a problem. He has hit the left side wall with the left rear tire and it has spun him around. It did not cause anything other than that. He just spun around and got back going. So we're now going to come to lap 27, and once again we have a caution in the same spot that Hulkenberg crashed just a few laps ago, and you can see we're having a lot of problems going on here. I'm not sure what happened. You can see a Haas getting spun out back there by a Mercedes, and a lot has been going on. Once again, nothing came out here, no virtual safety car or anything. A lot of debris scattered all over the place. Everyone managed to get back going though. We did not really gain any positions from that, but we obviously have cycled back through to 7th from the pit stops, and we're going to just kind of hope something keeps going on and we can gain some positions. We just need to hope that this drama is guys that are in front of us, not behind us. Come through the tunnel once again. We got Kvyat lurking behind us in the 8th position. Hopefully he can't pass us. Our teammate Lance Stroll in 9th, closing in fast too. That's the best he's run all season, I believe, which is pretty unfortunate for him. I think if we continue to drive like we are, we're going to gain the #1 status for Williams pretty shortly, maybe in another couple races. So that would be very nice. Get some extra resource points and whatnot, so we can make some big upgrades on this car, because we're starting to fall behind a little bit on upgrades. So I really need to focus in more on that section of car. But once again, Kevin Magnussen now has been disqualified, and we have a whole lot of crap going on in the little hairpin again. Let's see what happened this time. It looks like it's a McLaren. Not sure what happened. I guess he hit the inside wall and now everyone's just stopped. And there goes a Mercedes going through once again. No safety car or anything, which I was pretty surprised about, because as you can see, they're actually stopped down there for a pretty large period of time. They all got kind of jammed up. But we're going to come now to 2 laps to go, and we have gained 1 spot into the 6th position due to that whole ordeal that went down. And we're just trying to nurse the left front tire to the finish here. We have held off Kvyat, and really there's no way he's going to get past me unless I screw up. I'm going to make sure of that. This is going to be a pretty solid run, much better than I thought. I was more or less expecting to be battling it out for 10th, really. But we kind of had some drama go down right at the beginning, which brought guys into pit road, and obviously those crashes in the little inner loop right here, and that has gained us some extra spots, and it's really going to pay off. We're going to get some extra points out of it. We just got to hang on to this spot and hold off Kvyat. Coming to the white flag this time by, and we get into the wall a bit there with the left front wing, and we do have wing damage. It is now yellow. I don't think it's going to be enough to really cost us the position here. I think we should be able to hang on with that damage till the end. And now the leader is coming to the line. As you can see, Max Verstappen has earned his first win of the season as we come to the end of our lap now. Just bringing it home in front of Daniel Kvyat. He is not going to be able to get past us. Close to the wall as usual. We've gotten in the wall a handful of times this race, but now we just bring it through the final corners, down the long straightaway. As we come to the line, we are going to finish in 6th.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That was a pretty good result. I'm really happy with that. Certainly got some confidence going into the next race.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes.
Well, there you have it. Both Red Bull cars finished 1-2. So we got one Ferrari on the podium. That's Sebastian Vettel. Both of the Williams cars, we both made it in the top 10 today. I think that might be the first time this season we both got a top 10. So that is pretty cool. And you see Magnussen in the last from a disqualification. Lewis Hamilton worked his way up to 8th after those problems at the beginning of the race, but we're sitting 8th in points. Hamilton is just struggling so bad that he really needs to figure something out if he wants to be a championship contender in the end of this season. But in the Constructors, we did gain one spot there, which is pretty nice. But that'll do it for that race, and we get through the resource points. We have 694. Our rep has gone up quite a bit for Renault, that's for sure, but we're now in the purple, which is nice. So we might be able to get driver position number 1 shortly.
And they're very pleased so far. Well done. Don't let that level drop, okay?
Alright, thank you, Emma. Alright, so yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Formula 1 2017. And I'm really looking forward to our next race. It should be a lot of fun. We do not have enough resource points to make any upgrades, but we're going to switch that gearbox out for sure before the next weekend starts. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. Thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you guys next episode, and have a good day.